Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are starting a new series where I explore some of the latest and trendiest news on the AI world. So, what is the topic of today? The topic of today is AI drama. So, I thought stealing weights meant someone swiped my gym equipment, they stole my weights, but no. We are talking about model AI weights. So what's this today? Anthropic, the guys behind Cloud Code, Cloud AI, whatever you know it, is accusing the Chinese laboratories like companies like DeepSeek, Moonshot, Minimax of basically stealing their information. And I'm going to reiterate this, their information. Let's break it down. Anthropic dropped this new article today that is titled Detecting and Preventing Distillation Attacks, and where they claim that three AI laboratories, DeepSeek, Moonshot, and Minimax, illicitly extracted Claude capabilities to improve their own models. According to Claude, through approximately 24,000 fraudulent accounts, they generated over 16 million questions, sucking the responses of Claude like a vacuum on steroids. But why did they do that? So essentially, they did that to use distillation and to distill that knowledge into their own models. But let's actually unpack what distillation means here, because, it's the heart of this drama. We need to know exactly what are their claims. So imagine we have Claude here, and Claude is a teacher, right? So this teacher spent years, billions of dollars, and they studied, they scraped everything with coding, reasoning, tools, etc., etc. It's huge, it's pretty expensive to run because of the GPUs, etc. And now, what is distillation? So, distillation is essentially a student, let's describe it here as a new stickman that is, let's call it Minimax, right? And essentially, what they did, these three companies, what they did, they essentially copied this super smart teacher that Claude built. And how did they do that? So the student in this case, the Chinese labs, essentially didn't try to build anything from scratch. Instead, they generated questions that were sent to Claude, and Claude gave back answers, right? So what these companies did was basically take the knowledge out of Claude and stuff. These could be questions like write perfect Python code, reason the step algorithm by algorithm, reason through this complex puzzle, use these tools, etc., etc. And Claude, of course, thought these were real users and gave back the answers and this knowledge. And now the student takes all of this knowledge and uses this as training data to build this new, less expensive model that is fine-tuned on this data that they asked Claude to generate. So, going back to the allegations and to the study that Anthropic published, we will find that Minimax was the company that had the biggest chunk of requests to Cloud AI. So essentially they did 13 million exchanges where they focused agentic coding and tool use and orchestration to scrape data from Claude. Now, for me, this does not come as a surprise because Minimax is the most used and most popular model on Open Router with 2.57 trillion tokens of usage stats, right? Just this week. Why is this relevant? So essentially, since they scraped everything from Anthropic and they built their own model, they allow people to use it at a cheaper price rather than Anthropic's models. However, being cheaper does not mean it is not as good as Claude. Of course, it is as good as Claude. It sucked up the knowledge that Claude has. And essentially, as you can see, it's the number one in programming, the number one in technology, etc., etc. So this distillation might be why it is punching above its weight. So, but legally, essentially what Anthropic is claiming is that this is a foggy zone that violates Anthropic's terms of service, and they also argue that it skirts the UX export controls on AI tech. Now, for me, here's the hilarious irony, and yeah, it's peak hypocrisy for me. These same US AI giants like Anthropic and OpenAI are crying because the Chinese companies train their models with the outputs of their big and expensive and best in slot models, while they are hit with lawsuits for allegedly scraping massive chunks of the internet without permission to train their own models. As we can see in this post for the Primagen, and also this video that I'll link down below because it's really cool, go and take a watch. So he says, wait, let me get this straight. People that stole the whole internet are upset that the others are stealing from them, which pretty much sums up this exactly problem and the exactly irony of this situation. And we can even see Elon Musk himself commenting this situation where he says, "Banger, how dare they steal the stuff Anthropic stole from human coders?" Which really reveals the hypocrisy from Anthropic here, and for me really is the dumbest thing to say, that they stole while you are also stealing from the whole internet. But that's it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all those things. Bye bye.